Hi, and welcome to Joining Us, celebrating 50 years of Bands of America. My name is Chuck Henson, and for 35 of those 50 years, I was the primary public address announcer for Bands of America's series of regional and the Grand National Marching Band Championships. Now, over the course of the next 25 episodes, I'm going to do my very best to bring you the people and stories that ultimately have created the excellence that is BOA.
I just was fascinated by this man's marketing ability and the idea that he was putting together a national organization.
Well, one was having hamburgers directly across the table from Dr. Ravelli. So I'm literally watching him eat a hamburger thinking, that's William D. Ravelli having a hamburger in front of me.
Back when Marching Bands of America began in 1975, I and my high school marching band were one of the first to participate.
10 years after the experience, I'm still hearing from kids who thought that was one of the coolest things they ever got to do.
I mean, when you went joining us, those kids went nuts right then. You could have read out of a phone book from that point on. You had them.
They're just going to blow the roof off the place. Like, I get chills thinking about it.
The rifles would spin rifles, then they would catch them and they would fall on the ground at the end of the tune.
Like a death drop.
Yeah.
What's in your blood? If you cut my arm, I'll bleed Bands of America, Music for All.
What Marching Bands of America started was innovative, so new, so exciting.
50 years, a half century? Are you kidding me?
Happy 50th anniversary to Bands of America.
So get your program, find a great seat here in our virtual stadium, and get ready to learn everything you ever wanted to know about Bands of America. Joining us from Bellbrook, Ohio. Welcome back to Joining Us, everybody. I'm Chuck Henson. We are well on our journey to get to 25 episodes chronicling 50 years of Bands of America excellence. And with us today on this hot day, we're recording this late in July, and it is probably over 100 degrees with the heat index here where I live in Central Florida. And our guest, Gary Green, is in South Florida. Even hotter down there, Gary?
So hot, too hot. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to go outside unless you have to.
I heard you went to go hit some balls this morning, right?
I did for a little while, but I had to leave that even. And to top it all off, yesterday, my air conditioner broke. So,
oh no,
it's been quite a couple of days. Well, we got it. It's going. So we're good. That's
the worst in Florida. Well, anywhere, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But here, especially because of the humidity, it just gets crazy. Let me tell everybody a little bit about you. I met Gary Green at the Bands of America Summer Symposium at Whitewater, Wisconsin, many years ago. But his association with the organization goes back literally to the beginning. Gary was in charge of at the Frost School of Music, director there for 22 years at the University of Miami. That's quite an accomplishment there, Gary. And prior to that, you were at University High School in Washington, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I was a high school band director for about 20 years.
Is University in Spokane the first group that you would have brought to at that point, MBA show?
Well, it was the only group that I brought to an MBA event, and that was in Whitewater.
What year would that have been? Do you remember?
Well, yeah, the first time we went was in 1980, and the second time was in 1983. And they were both great learning experiences for us, and a wonderful time to be with young people that were just terrific in every way.
What has impressed me most about the earliest years of MBA and specifically at Whitewater was the fact that nothing like this existed before. There wasn't an event of a national caliber. Dr. Tim and I were talking about the nationalization of marching band events, and that really was when this was all happening, right? When you brought your group.
Well, it was, but we weren't by any stretch of imagination in the early days of that. There were groups many years before we came. But I remember Nick Valenziano was working with Larry McCormick. And this was all Larry's idea.
Oh, yeah.
This whole thing came from him. And to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure how my initial contact with Larry happened, but it was a wonderful thing that it did because he is, as you know, a great human being and had vision beyond any of us. But it was Nick Valenziano that I talked to. And it must have been at least 10 years, maybe 10 years before we finally ended up to go to Whitewater with University. I was actually teaching at Capitol High School in Boise, Idaho at the time that I first met and talked to Nick. And it's an interesting thing. I was on, if not the first board of directors for what was then Marching Bands of America, one of the first board of directors. And also on that board was a guy by the name of Bill Ravelli. And of all people, Stan Kenton was on that board as well.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
How did Larry know Stan Kenton?
I have no idea. And I've tried to get, I used to have a copy of that out of what was a flyer he would send out, but I've lost it. And he's got it, I'm sure. But I don't have that. We never met, but that was the direction that he thought at the very beginning.
So if you're looking at 10 years prior, you brought your band in 1980, you said the first time. So, we're talking early 70s. The first Summer Nationals was 76.
I can't give you exact dates. I mean, everything to me right now at my age and what I have been able to do is just like it's like a giant rubber band ball. It's all just kind of grouped together.
I understand that completely.
Yeah. So I can't say it was 10 years before, but I do know I was at University High School. So I could, if I had time, I'd go through the dates, but it would have been mid-70s probably.
Yeah, I've got to assume that your association with them came through McCormick's Enterprises, through the store.
Yeah, I'm sure we were buying things for our marching band at Capitol High School. And then I went to Spokane, where I taught at University High School. And that's the group that we actually ended up. So we were buying things from McCormick's at the time. And that could have been the beginning of it, but I'm not exactly sure how it happened. But I do know that my time with Nick and with Larry was considerable for me anyway.
At what point did you transition from being a participant in the events to being an active part of the organization as part of the board? How did that happen? Just private conversations with Nick and Larry?
I have no idea, because I was not at all, honestly, interested in taking my band to any national marching band competition or concert band competition for that matter. It was not something that I aspired to. It was not something I was interested in. But my time with them was influential in my life. Perhaps not anybody else's, but certainly in mine. And it wasn't until I went to University High School and left Capitol in late 1970s when we decided we wanted to take the band to Whitewater and see what that was all about. So we did.
Can you even fathom what your life would be like if you hadn't pivoted and met those folks?
No, it would be like, Chuck, I firmly believe that your life is a combination of everybody that you know and everything that you've done. And I mean, what if I would not have gone to, I was in the service. I served during Vietnam for 4 years. I was in photographic intelligence in the Air Force. And I was stationed in the Pacific Northwest. And so because I was there, I met my wife while I was in the service. Now, what if I wouldn't have been in the service and I wouldn't have met my wife?
Right.
We just celebrated our 57th wedding anniversary.
Bravo, sir. Congratulations.
And so because of that, we have great children and great grandchildren, and my life is enriched beyond my wildest dreams. I mean, how could you dream this? I mean, how could you make this stuff up? I couldn't write a book about it because I wouldn't know what to write.
Although I think I have seen that movie.
So how this all happened as far as Marching Bands of America and Music for All and all this, it's just been kind of a rolling idea that just accumulated as it went downhill. But Larry McCormick is, in my mind, the guy that made it happen.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Everyone echoes that statement. Everyone.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, it was his dream. It was his belief and faith in people and trying to do good things that made these things happen.
So just to toot your own horn just a little bit, because I know you won't, so I will. Remind me again what place University got when they participated in that event?
Well, the first time we came in fourth.
Okay.
Which was good. I mean, I was happy with that.
Heck yeah.
But I'll tell you an interesting story. You know how the judges will make a tape of your performance as you go through? Well, one of the music judges was on the field, set his tape recorder down on the desk and did not turn it off. So I have a copy of his recording, right? And it was an excellent recording. It was great. And it gets silent. And I just, as long as
but now you're eavesdropping, right?
Now, as long as it's going, man, I'm going to listen. So it just goes, must have went, honest, Chuck, I don't know, maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And Scott McCormick, who was then a youngster, was on the front sideline, and he was walking by that tape recorder. And he says, man, he said, those guys can really play. Too bad they can't march. And so that told the story of a lot of the day's event and how we were evaluated. So it was not really a heated idea to go back in 1983, but the kids wanted to go, the parents wanted to go do it. And so I decided that we would give it, I decided along with the kids and the parents and my wife and important people in my life, because it was going to take some immense amount of time to do it. So we went back in 1983, and this time somehow we managed to come in first place.
Yeah, you did. Congratulations to you, sir. I would have taken that phrase, they play well, but they can't march, and put it on a poster and put it above my band room door so that every kid for the next year.
Well, I have other stories about that, but I can't tell them on the air.
You can tell as many as you like, sir. This is a podcast start like TV. They don't have limits on them. We could go all day.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part about what we're doing here.
I'll tell you, in 1983, when we went back, I've always been, from the time I was in high school, I was a horn player, French horn player. And my life has been, even my young life was built around sound and how sound happens and how you make sounds attractive or not. And so my high school band director, George Bright, man that I love with all my heart, gave me more than I could ever give him, gave me the idea of what that should be and how it started. He started with him. And so sound was always the most important thing to me, always, still is. But I had a guy in 1983 that I had asked to come with us to help me. Something I did then in 1983, and this has changed drastically. I wrote the drill myself in 1983, all of it. I wrote the music and arranged it all myself.
Did you have a staff?
I did, but they were kids with two exceptions. They were kids who had been in the band before.
Yeah.
But I hired two people, David Wakely, who was a percussionist in Spokane, Washington, one of my closest friends and a genius musician himself. And I hired another genius, and this was fate. I hired Stan Knob. And listen, how could I ever get somebody like that? I mean, I couldn't even breathe the same air this guy breathed. And so we had done prelims, right, in 1983. And I was in using the restroom, men's room. And the door was shut to my little stall, right? In comes a competing band director and his staff. I will not say who this was.
Oh, no.
But this person said, well, we don't have to worry about university because Green doesn't know how to clean a drill. And he was exactly right. I didn't.
What a horrible thing to say.
Well, I mean, he didn't know I was there. I mean, they were just talking.
But even then.
Come on, we've said stuff,
Yeah.
And he's a wonderful guy, one of my closest friends.
So you have laughed about this conversation since then, obviously.
Oh, if this person happens to hear it, they will either laugh or call me.
They will know. I love that.
But they said that, and they left. I waited till they left, and then I snuck out, went back to the high school and I got Stan. And I said, listen, you got to teach these kids how to march, and you got to help me. And that's what he did.
Wow.
He made it good enough. I mean, listen, I remember him with joy. I mean, he was tough guy. But man, he was awesome. He was amazing. And he taught those kids and me the idea and concepts of how to do this. And he was able to save it. So we didn't win marching, but we were high enough that we didn't hurt ourselves too bad.
He went on to have an amazing career with Urte and all the different, winter guards that he was attached to. One of the years that I was teaching color guard at the summer symposium, so that would have been 84, 85, 86 in that ballpark.
Uh-huh.
He was the director of the color guard portion of the event that year, which I'm assuming you probably steered him into that now that I know your association.
I don't think I steered Stan into anything. He steered me. I was just lucky that somebody mentioned his name, and I was just lucky that I got to be with him and get to know him.
Yeah, I feel the same way. To have just spent a week with him was a masterclass for me in how to do what we were doing.
You'd watch what he would do with the color guard, and you'd see the music in motion.
Yep.
I didn't know anything about that. So those were the two guys that I would hire to help me, but it was not the money that's being spent today.
Oh, no, yeah.
We didn't have
the
it.
teams now that do marching band are Well, they're giants.
Yeah.
They're giant.
Yeah.
So after you win Summer Nationals in that year, 1984, you go back. You guys are the toast of the town. And then at that point, did the conversation start about the board of directors?
No, I was not on the board of directors then. This was early. I was on the board of directors before. Now, I don't know why I was on the board of directors. It was Larry's decision along with Nick, but I was not on the board of directors when I went to Whitewater. That was after that.
Yeah, I think they were very good in bringing people into that board because it not only had to be representative of everyone, which it certainly was, but it had to be the people that had the same forward-thinking mindset that Larry had.
Yeah. The strange thing to me, Chuck, is that I was placed on that board without any knowledge of what Marching Bands of America was about, except that Larry wanted to do this big contest. And how in the world he got Bill Ravelli and Stan Kenton on there, I had no idea. But, my favorite George Goebel line was, you ever feel like that the world's a tuxedo and you're a pair of brown shoes? I mean, that was me. I mean, I was a poor little high school kid trying to figure out how to tune the clarinets. I mean, I didn't know.
And now you're on the board of directors of a national organization with William D. Ravelli.
But then you see Marching Bands of America. I mean, this is back to the real early days. I think that if I'm not mistaken, it was Live Oak that won that first one, if I'm not mistaken. And the guy's name that won it, what was it?
Oh, boy.
Rubino.
Yeah,
Rubino.
Mike Rubino.
Yeah.
Great guy. Great guy.
A terrific guy. But I mean, I looked at videos of those guys and I'm going like, well, we could never do that. I mean,
everyone suffers from imposter syndrome at the beginning,
Well, I still do. Matter of fact, I am right now.
I've got a great Mike Rubino story. Mike Rubino and I was at the last season I was announcing, so that would have been 2023. There was a regional at Troy University in Montgomery, Alabama. And Mike and I ended up in the same rental vehicle coming out of Atlanta. So we were driving from Atlanta over to the show. And all of a sudden we see this sign on the interstate that says Tuskegee, Alabama. And I look at Mike and he looks at me and both of our eyes lit up at the same time going, we're going, right? Like we're getting off the road. We're going to see the Tuskegee Air Base. And
oh, yeah.
Sure enough, he and I pulled into an empty parking lot at what is now the Tuskegee National State Park where that air base is. None of the buildings are there. They've got pictures of the buildings and then they've got some steel beam mock-ups kind of what the structure would have looked like. But I said to Mike, I go, thank goodness it was you and me on this trip because other people would have been, I want to get back get to the hotel. And
I love it.
Sharing moments like that with these people who have made such a difference in music education is everything.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's take a moment for a quick break because I want to listen to some of your stories. Now, remember, if you've got a special Music for All or Bands of America memory or story, you can record it and be a part of this very 50th anniversary podcast. Just visit musicforall.org/podcast to contribute your story.
This is Holly Blake. One of the favorite things that I get to do being a part of volunteering for Bands of America is during Indie Super and Grand Nationals, having the opportunity to talk to hundreds of drum majors just before we line them up for awards. We gather them all back in the dock area, and I usually ask how many have been there before and if they've had a great experience and a great time. And they're all excited and they're bonding and having fun. And then I ask how many seniors there are. And when the dozens of hands go up, it just brings tears to my eyes. Some of them I've literally seen each year, and their leadership and their growth is just amazing to be a part of, even just that few minutes. I get the privilege to congratulate them, to encourage them to take everything that they feel in these moments and share back to their communities, to their schools, to their friends and families. It's so important and such a special time in their lives. And I encourage them just to be in the moment and enjoy every bit of it. One of the greatest things is learning all of the traditions of the different groups as they come through flow and still trying to keep on schedule with everybody, but allow them their special time. Some of them only have this experience once, and it is truly a life-changing experience for these kids. Some of them have never been in these large stadiums before, and just watching their eyes when they come in and the reaction that they have is just amazing to be a part of. watching them bond together, and especially the drum majors, they truly do support each other, even though they're competing against each other. Some of them become friends. They really do support each other at the same time, and it's very unique and it's very heartwarming to be a part of that. Sometimes I get high fives and hugs from drum majors when they come off the field after awards, and seeing how happy they are, even if they didn't win, just celebrating their accomplishment. And then there are the moments watching seniors perform for the very last time, coming off the field, leaving everything they have out there, sweat on their brows, tears in their eyes, and hugging each other. And it's just heart-wrenching, but also such a proud moment to be a part of. I love every bit of it.
All right. Now, let's rejoin our conversation. So when did you start teaching at the Summer Symposium, or were you the coordinator?
Well, after 1980, Tim was there.
Tim Lotzenheiser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, 1981 was the first year I went. Tim, I don't know how things just happened. I mean, I'm sure that Tim talked to Larry and whoever else was there, because, I mean, in the early days of Marching Bands of America in the camp portion was not like it is now. I mean, it was a few people doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I'd have to really think about it, but I could tell you the people that were really, really involved in making things happen. But I'm sure Larry talked to Tim, and by that time we'd been there in 1980, and so they asked me to come and be a clinician, which I did. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I just knew that they wanted me to come, so I did, and that's where I met Norm Rubling, and
Just the sound of his name makes me smile.
well, Charlie Mangini was there.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Bob Buckner and you.
Listen, I believe it was in 1981. I could be wrong, but I believe it's 1981. Bob Buckner did a clinic band.
With Marian Catholic.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
That was the beginning. I could tell you crazy stories about that. But listen, I laughed so hard with those crazy people. My face hurt when I went home, man. I mean, everything was just upside down and backwards when I left there. But that was a big deal.
Yeah. From my perspective, as someone who, my first experience was 1984. Mike Turner was coordinating the color guard portion that year, and they needed a couple extra people. And I was with Scouts. We were on break, and it happened the same week. And so myself and Randy Black, who lives in California now, were brought over to help teach color guard. And I walked into that not knowing anything, not knowing a single thing about Marching Bands of America. And what I felt that I had walked into was just the smoothest machine on the planet. I know differently, having been on staff for many, many years after that.
Yeah.
But the professionalism and the organization. But I want to tell you, you and Norm and LJ Hancock and Bob Buckner and all those guys, I felt as though I was looking at the Rat Pack of music education. Like that maybe there was some organized crime going on in the background. I'm not really sure of that or not, but maybe.
Yeah, it was a Rat Pack, okay. I mean, those are just fantastic people. I mean, when you get beyond the idea of what brilliant teachers they are, I mean, they were just unbelievable people. And we were lucky to be together. I mean, it's just another thing. How do you couldn't plan it. I can tell you this, that it was Tim. I mean, when Larry needed something to have happen, it was Tim that made it happen.
When we talked to Tim, he mentioned that summer camp initially was just a director's only camp, but it was losing money like crazy. And Larry was going to just take it all down. Like the experiment has failed, just going back to be a show.
He would know that. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Tim said, just give me one more summer camp and we'll make this work. And that's when he started inviting students to come and created the student division.
And he did make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, it's Larry's initial impact, has to be.
Yeah.
But Tim Lotzenheiser is the guy that I know. I was there. I saw it happen.
Yeah, it showed. And every year that went by past then, it got bigger and better and bigger and better. And, what I love about these conversations, Gary, is that, what you and I are talking about literally happened 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And this organization is stronger and bigger and more prominent and everything we all would ever have wanted it to be.
Yeah.
In those early days. And it's so beautiful to see it. I feel my heart swell in my chest when I talk about it, because the man I am today is a direct result of my involvement with Bands of America.
Well, I owe, I don't know if it's, I know that I have a sense of, it's not obligation, that's what comes to my mind, but a sense of responsibility to Larry.
Yeah.
Because it's who he is as a human being.
You guys stay in touch?
Okay, not like we should. I mean, who does?
Yeah.
Life happens and you don't. And then sadly, but not like we should. But there's hardly a day. Well, if a conversation like this comes up or some memory, I see something or a kid on Facebook, I remember. And I think about it a lot.
Yeah. Well, this will be the impetus. We'll finish this up and you'll reach out and, hey, I was just talking about you. So fast forward me. At what point did you go from high school into the college arena?
Well, my first job, I taught elementary, middle school, and high school band. That was my first job. And I'm grateful for that. And it was a great place. I loved it.
Was that in Idaho?
It was in Idaho.
Okay.
I was discharged from the service in Idaho. I was stationed at a place called Mountain Home, Idaho. And my first job was in Mountain Home. I was discharged in the middle of the year in December. And there was a job available for elementary school vocal chorus, elementary school 1 through 6. And I took it and I loved it, man. I mean, you want to see joy. You look at a fourth grader singing, I'm a little duck, out of tune, but with the joy that's coming out of their heart, unfiltered.
Right.
And I remember that, and it's stuck in my brain. I try to use that as a model of what I should be doing. Anyway, I went from there to my first band job was in Weiser, Idaho. In the town, there were maybe 450 kids in the high school at that time. And I was, like I said, I was doing elementary, middle school, and high school band. So if the high school band wasn't successful, I wonder who was doing the junior high. I mean, you had
Right.
yourself to blame. So that was a good experience for me.
Is Weiser anywhere near Pocatello?
No, Pocatello's on the other side of the state.
That's my only Idaho experience. Do you remember there was the color guard director at Pocatello used to come to summer camp?
Huh.
And her name is escaping me right now, but I taught a lot of her kids at summer camp, and then she invited me to come out and write the guard book for their high school.
Cool.
And one of the coolest things, I mean, I'd never been in that part of the country before. I was still in my 20s.
Uh-huh.
And fly out there and was so impressed by the big circles, the agriculture circles where they water the potatoes in a circle. And from the air, you could see all of that.
Oh, yeah.
We get into Pocatello, and Pocatello is just across the Rocky Mountains from Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
That's right.
We had a free night. And so we get in her car and we're going to drive over to Jackson Hole. She's going to show it to me. And we get to the top of this mountain range where we're literally like cresting the top and heading down the other side. And it looks like the surface of the moon.
Oh, yeah.
It's like lava flows from when those were volcanoes that are still just sitting on the surface.
That's right.
And it's like you've left the earth.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing in the world. And then there's moose all over the roadway.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you live here. That's so cool.
I miss that.
It's so interesting there. So from there to Washington?
Well, anyway, I was there for a few years. Larger schools, I ended up at Capitol High School, and then I went to University High School in Spokane, Washington, and I was there for 10 years, and I loved it. I mean, I loved all of it.
Yeah.
I never really wanted to be a college band director. It wasn't something I aspired to do. My high school band was playing things that I really was interested in. We played the Hindema Symphony. We did La Fiesta Mexicana. We did the Ingolf Dahl Sinfonietta. And so my heart, my mind, my soul was longing to know things that I didn't know. And so I didn't even know what that was. There was something in there that I wanted to know. And I heard a piece quite by accident in a friend's home. I heard the cassette tape recording of the premiere of John Painter's premiere of Child's Garden of Dreams by David Maslenka.
Yeah.
And that's the end of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even breathe. I felt like somebody kicked me in the gut. I didn't know what to do because I never heard anything like that. And I knew I wanted to know about it. And I knew I'd do it with high school kids, and I knew I shouldn't. And so I had to go. And it was tough because I didn't want to leave them.
So that piece of music from John Painter influenced your move to the collegiate level just so you could play that piece? Wow.
It wasn't to play the piece.
It's to be in that arena, right?
Well, what were they thinking about? How could people, out of somebody's mind, out of their heart, how could that go on something so that somebody could see it and play it? I mean, I still don't get that. But
and then feel it and then emote it.
Yeah, and teach it. And so I wanted to do that. And I had to go because that's what I wanted to do. It was hard to do, but I got the job at the University of Connecticut.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now.
And I loved it.
You were at UConn. That's right.
Yeah, I was for 10 years. I mean, I loved that. It was the world to me. Wonderful people, wonderful kids.
What a great environment too.
Oh, it was great. And then I got the job at the University of Miami, and it was everything I could have dreamed it could have been. It was great. I loved it.
That's amazing. Congratulations. That's incredible. So I want to fast forward a little bit to the National Festival, because I know you're also an evaluator for that event as well, right? Still to this day?
I am.
How does it feel? I've talked to, Bill Galvin and his son, Sean.
I do. Sure.
We've talked to them previously, and the concept of, from Sean's perspective, Sean was a student in the honor band.
Mm-hmm.
He was a director of a percussion ensemble that came to the event,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's an evaluator. I mean, he plays for the Pittsburgh Symphony. He's a professional musician,
Right.
and he's done all of that stuff through his career. Tell me about the pressure, because I know there is pressure as an evaluator. Every group who comes on stage is looking for something special from you, aren't they?
Well, with your permission, I'll go back just a little bit further than that.
Yeah.
I did not attend the very first concert band festival, but I was there for the second one.
I think we were still at Northwestern then, right?
It was. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Scott really is the guy that caused that concert band festival to happen.
Scott McCormick. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Lisa Preston?
I sure do. That makes me smile even saying her name.
Lisa Preston was my very first graduate TA at the University of Connecticut.
She ended up at Bloomington, right? Bloomington Normal.
Yeah, she's teaching there. But when she was looking for her graduate degree, a master's degree, she came to the University of Connecticut, and we were together. She was my first TA, my graduate TA. And I love her with all my heart.
She's great.
Oh, man. One of the most creative people I've ever known. And honest. I mean, that little girl is honest. But Scott and Lisa were, I don't know if they were an item, but they were together a lot. They were really good buddies.
Yeah.
And so Scott came to the University of Connecticut because Lisa was there. And he helped me with my marching band, get the stuff going. And I was new. And so he came and he helped me. And so Scott and I became pretty good friends, and we still are. I love Scott.
He's great. Scott's the best.
With all my respect to Larry, I often think of Scott as being one of my own. But I talked to Scott at that time when he came, and I said, Marching Bands of America, I believe it was Bands of America at that point, but it had nothing to do with concert band at all, zero. And I said, if you really want to make an impact educationally, on the music education of young people, you need to consider having a concert band component, because that's where the action is. I mean, when you get right down to it, a band plays.
Yeah.
And so the responsibility is to play good music.
And marching band is seasonal. Yeah.
Well, listen, I think I've been pretty open. I mean, I love my time as a marching band director. I love that. And I love my kids. And I have the greatest respect for people who can do this at the level that's being done. But for me, my heart was seeking things that I didn't understand. And I knew that, and like I told you, Mr. Bright, my high school band director, taught us how to play.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning, playing was it. I didn't tell Scott anything. We talked about it. And I mentioned to him that to be really credible, it really needed a component for concert band and emphasis on playing. And so Scott listened to that and considered it. He did not respond to my idea, but he thought about it. And he talked a lot to John Painter. I know he did, because we talked about that.
John was the one screening those first batch of tapes that came in.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the beginning idea, and you could verify this with Scott, the beginning of it was some head-to-head detail stuff about how do they play and what can we do to support that. And so I think the idea of the beginning, at least the concept of it, wasn't defined there, but it kind of started there. And so from that point on, then it began to grow. Then it was Bands of America, and then it became Music for All.
Right.
Because he did a lot of other things. But the early stages of that concert band festival must have been a lot like the marching band festival, because it was tough.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was at the lectern all weekend doing the stage announcements. And, and even back then, when I was on the staff at BOA during those years, there were 7 of us, 7 people that did all those events. We would pack into a van, the big Ford Econoline van, pull in a trailer with all the banners and cones in it, and off we'd go for the regionals. 4 regionals and nationals then, and now.
Well, I don't think there were regionals in that early stages.
When I was on the staff, they had started, but I don't think in the 70s there were. I don't think the first one started till like 82, 83.
Well, I went to Connecticut. I was in early 80s, 82, 83, something like that.
Yeah.
University of Connecticut.
Because Mike Davis talks about a regional in Virginia when he was at JMU.
Concert band festival.
No, a regional marching band.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, the regional concert band festivals didn't start till probably a decade after the event.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm cool now. I get it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we were talking about 2 different things. Me, the marching band announcer, and you, the.
Yeah. But those early days at that concert band festival were pretty rough. Must have been a lot like the marching band thing because it was not a popular decision in all fronts that Scott made to do the concert band.
Were you part of the plant in his brain to, okay, let's look at the National Concert Band Contest from the 1930s, Dr. Ravelli's event. Were you part of that discussion to kind of form this after that?
No, I think that was probably Ravelli himself.
Yeah.
And maybe John Painter. My attitude about it early on, and remember, now this happened with Scott's talking with many people. My idea was it would have to be non-competitive.
Yeah.
It could be evaluated, but no numbers involved. Because in my mind, that actually truly served the idea of music being the whole idea of it.
Yeah, you don't want the win is getting the invitation. The rest is all a celebration.
I mean, look at the people who have served as evaluators. I mean, Bill Ravelli, Frederick Fennell, Arnold Gabriel.
Colonel Gabriel, Ray Kramer. Yeah.
That's right. On and on and on and on and on. Bob Reynolds. I mean, it was one person after the other. And so what he did was he set the standard. Nobody can fault that concert band festival. I mean, it's spectacular still.
How many years have you been attached to that event now?
From the beginning.
All of them since? Yeah.
All but one.
Wow.
And of course, I talked to Scott before that. And so, listen, I can remember sitting on a critique. Not wasn't critique. It was like all the evaluators were in a room talking to band directors, you know. Fred Fennell was there. Arnold Gabriel was there. John Painter was there. Bill Ravelli was there. I think Gene Corporon was there.
Yeah, he was at that. Yep.
I was there, and I'm going like, what in the world am I doing?
Like, this is happening. This is happening.
Man. So it was like a dream.
Yeah.
And it still is, quite honestly. And there have been so many great people have gone through that thing. And the honor band is such, I mean, where else do you find something like that?
You know, one of the great things I love about the honor band, and I talked about this with Bill Galvin's son, Sean, was that, you know, if you make a state honor band or a state ensemble, you go into that experience and you're playing for you. You know, I made a play for you, get through the weekend and go. But the honor band at the National Festival is such a cooperative experience. I mean, Sean was saying he has friends from that first honor band because he was in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, oh, we still stay in touch. Like, it's been that kind of life-changing for him.
You know, it just popped into my mind, and I have to say it before it pops out of my mind. Another person that has to be recognized for the extreme value to this organization is Cam Stasa.
Yeah.
This lady went through the fire to make this stuff happen. I mean, when the concert band thing was invented, it happened in the summer. It happened at National. And it wasn't a given that kids were just automatically going to go do that.
Yeah.
And so Cam was charged with the responsibility of finding bassoons that could play and help make the band be as successful as it has been. And she did that. I mean,
yeah.
Imagine, Chuck, the hours that she spent dedicated.
Oh, I was there. I watched it. You know, she was director of band relations and her job was band directors. She was the first point of contact with band directors. They may not have known any of our names, but they knew Cam's name.
Oh, yeah. We still do.
Yeah.
So she remains, in my mind, one of the key people of the whole idea.
Yeah.
The whole concept.
You must be exceptionally proud of what that event looks like today, knowing you were there literally at the conception.
I tell you what, I am. It's tough because if it wouldn't have been for Scott McCormick and his determination that it needed to be more than marching band, and Scott loves jazz band, he loves marching band, loves it.
Yep.
And so for him to understand the need to move beyond what it was, in spite of the fact that not everybody was happy about the idea, it took tremendous courage. And so I am proud, I guess, quote, proud is such an insignificant word, but I am humbled to have been around someone that would take a chance in their life to make a decision that was not popular, but it was the right decision.
I don't think anyone would disagree with you on that at all. As a matter of fact, I believe that of the executive directors of the organization from the beginning until now, and I haven't met Dr. Weaver yet, I'll meet him soon, I hope, but each one of them has taken the organization to the very top of the place where they could do it.
Great people.
And then the next person has grabbed that and ran.
That's right.
You know, and so Scott was the man. I mean, he, you know, there was probably some pushback when you think it was a family business and, you know, Larry handed it to Scott, but Scott was the right choice for that.
It was a tough time, but like we talked about earlier, Chuck, I mean, things happen in your life that are going to happen and you may like them and you may not, but it is part of your life.
Yeah.
It becomes part of the fabric of who you become. And so you have to understand that and you have to go with it. I'm just grateful that I was lucky enough to be a part of an organization that has meant so much to so many in terms of music education and its value to our society, extreme value in the arts. And so to have been a part of that is an honor that I could never fully explain. But to talk to you, Chuck, and to hear your voice and be forced to think back those many years, been a struggle, but I'm happy that we did it. I thank you.
I echo your sentiments, my friend. Thank you very much. Gary Green, you're the best. Go play some golf now.
No. I'm going to go sit close to the air conditioner.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Joining Us podcast. We are celebrating 50 years of Music for All and Bands of America. Do you have your own story or memory to share? Well, I want to hear it. You can record your own story by visiting musicforall.org/podcasts. We may just include your voice in a future episode. Hey, thanks to Yamaha, our national presenting sponsor, and don't forget to make sure you're subscribed to the Music for All Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts. I want to thank Ben and Laura from the team at Music for All for making this happen and lining up all of our guests. And of course, the way it sounds, that's the magic of our executive producer, Patrick Keller. I'm Chuck Henson. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week on Joining Us. Joining us from Avon, Indiana.